What's up, gents? This is Team Hard Life Captain Albert Food Ship, and we are here. Yeah. So I'm gonna wait for a few more of y'all to get on the channel. I did find out when the Channel 3 interview is gonna air, so I figured I'd share it with y'all and let y'all know. Uh, that off real quick. Oh man. What's up, Steve, Henry, Jaden? What's up, gents? How y'all doing? How was the trip, Henry? Did y'all go fishing? How was it? Y'all slapping some fish? Sharks? Anything? I have to teach my new worker how to properly clean these too. But yeah, I'm waiting for a few more of y'all to get on. But yeah, I'll be on the news today on Channel 3 at 6 p.m. So it was for that interview that they did here at the shop while I was busy. Like I didn't even stop for like 3.5, 4 hours. Even after he left, I was still rocking it. Um, Started about 10:30 and then didn't stop till about 3:30. Yeah, about 3:30 before I finally slowed down enough so I could catch my breakfast or my lunch, whatever you want to call it. And then while I just finished eating my last bite, and a customer rolled in. And if y'all know me by now. Like, I eat quick, so that's pretty much how fast it was. So, yeah. What's up, Night Hunter? How you doing? But I do want to clear the air on some deals here because I have talked about Bass Pro last year when we heard that they were coming over here, and I found out a bunch of information about it and stuff. And then I've got some guys on the channel commenting on that I shouldn't be mad that Bass Pro wants to come here because our shops may not always be able to provide them with all the tackle and this and that. And I'm like, dude, you're totally missing the point of what I'm saying. So I'm going to make it clear. You're going to hear it from me again. I don't agree with a business coming in, especially a multi-million-dollar operation coming in, but forcing, our city officials, forcing us to give them tax breaks. Because when they don't pay their taxes, guess who has to make up for it? We do as taxpayers. I don't agree with that. Like, if they're going to give anybody any kind of tax breaks, they need to give the local guys here that are already here, already established, already taking care of our community. Not some new company that has millions of dollars to play with and can write off the first 5 years of losses. We're already way past that. We can't write anything off anymore and losses like that. So I don't agree with our city officials putting that out there that they get to have tax breaks or incentives and stuff like that when we as local shops here do not get that same opportunity. So yes, small businesses are the ones that need it, but this subscriber on here keeps yapping about on the channel saying, commenting on there that the Bass Pro has this, Bass Pro. I said, you're totally missing the point. Obviously, Bass Pro is a multi-million-dollar operation. They're going to have 1,000 more things than I have to offer. That's not my beef with them. My beef with it is with the city officials wanting to give them tax breaks or incentives to bring them here. And from what I understand, they won't come here without them. So again, if a big business is forcing a small, a city like ours, I wouldn't say small, but we're already hurting with them trying to close Padre Island National Seashore, them trying to put in a desal plant strictly for incoming businesses, not for our locals, for us, and making us pay for it. I have issues. I have issues with that. So, um, but again, like I said, I was putting it out there that way, and I literally have to draw it out in crayon for this subscriber to understand that. And he's been here a while, so he knows how we are. But again, it has nothing to do with a new, like, I wanted Bass Pro to hear a long time ago. I did, years and years and years ago. Well, when I found out what they do and how they work their business, I don't approve of that. You know what I mean? But again, big businesses, that's how the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. We're over here struggling day to day. And man, maybe, if that's going to be the case, maybe I should start going up to city council and asking for, city grants and city tax privileges and city this and city that. I mean, they're doing it for everybody else. Why can't I get that same deal? You know what I mean? So I want to be crystal clear about that. It's just, if they're gonna come in, cool, but make them pay their way like I have to pay my way for everything that I get here. You know what I mean? They got millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars to play with. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Fishing was slow by me, but was good. Dusty, what's catfish, ladyfish, whiting? It was rough, strong current. Had to keep an eye on the kids. I bet. Yeah, that bet you it was bad out there. Small businesses need tax breaks. Bass Pro has enough money. I'm total agreement there, Henry. City uses tax breaks to entice its business to move in. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. As cities look at the long-term investment, it will generate a net positive for the economy. I can understand that, but I have seen where Bass Pros do not always bring that. The one in Harlingen is one of the ones that I was talking about that we've been to, and we originally went there because it was so close, and we bought a few things while we were there. But since then, I've yet to step foot in it. I think we stepped in there one time looking for a specific item that I had found there years ago, and they didn't even have it. And at the same time, too, I had been going to Mexico because I had my braces done there, and every time we went by there, parking lot is always empty, and we roll by that spot 2 times a day, in the morning and the afternoon. In the morning we can understand, but again, on a Saturday around 9, 10 o'clock, it should be bouncing. You know what I mean? Or even in the afternoon, about 4 or 5, like it should be packed in those hours, in those time frames, and they're not. And I also heard too that those tax breaks and incentives, you know, to bring them in and stuff like that, if it's going to hurt our city in the long run, like why even try to offer it? Like, what makes it going to be so special here on it? I mean, and when they offer them businesses those tax breaks and everything, all they're doing too is also hurting the local economy here, because those schools and everything else that are supposed to be getting that money aren't getting that money. That's where a lot of those tax monies are going to. And so who has to carry the burden? We do. So, yeah. That would be awesome too there, Henry. Yep. Especially with the amount of products that a bunch of us have. But again, too, there's quite a bit of locals here that could supply a lot of the stuff that they have at Bass Pro. But I've honestly, when I've gone into most of the Bass Pros, you don't find local custom gear in there like that. They're always going to buy cheap tourist craft specials of fishing gear and tackle and stuff like that, or the big name items. And yeah, it goes pretty crazy when you start looking at it in that sense. I like that idea. But yeah, no, I just wanted kind of waiting myself to see when the news is going to pop up. It's supposed to go on at 6, and it's supposed to be the main story. So I don't know what time the main story pops up on their news feed when they have it. I ain't watched news in forever. But I want to remind y'all too, the deal with the that House bill is this Wednesday. I have posted on the channel on the community page, where I posted all the emails and the information about which House bill um, you need to refer to. on there, and literally it's copy and paste. You can copy and paste the email uh, for what needs to be put in there. Um, but also too all the emails that need to be CC'd in there, so that way you can just send one email to like 30 people at one time. Let's see. Skills is killing Bass Pro, and here in Colorado, no comparison by customer quantity. Nice. Never heard of that one, so I'll definitely have to look into that one, Marco. So, yep, that's the other thing too, Henry. By them getting those tax breaks, yes, they would they'd be able to lower their prices far enough to basically bully us off the markets and stuff like that as well. I mean, we've dealt with Academy and Walmart here, but the good thing is a lot of the products I sell can't be bought at Academy or Walmart because they're all custom items. So they're all made by us. And also, too, the quality of our tackle is that much better than Academy and Walmart. Most people that buy tackle from Academy and Walmart really don't know what they're looking for. They're just looking for something to put out there. When it comes to like leaders and surf weights uh, and a bunch of different types of leaders that are out there. You know, I've seen some of the stuff that's in there. I'm like, God, if they only knew, that how. Now again, all leaders will work. All leaders will catch a fish. It just depends how well they're going to work when you're hooked up to a fish or trying to get a bite or during the fight, and also how long those leaders will last when you're abusing them by catching a lot of fish, or will they actually help you increase the amount of fish that you are catching by the way it's set up and if it's even a legal leader to be used. We had some customers come by the other day and they had said they bought some shark leaders from it was either Walmart or Bass Pro, and the hooks were illegal to be used for shark fishing. How y'all doing? Doing all right. How can I help you? What do you mean string your pole?
What's got the string? We just need okay.
You mean to put it through the guides? You got leaders and stuff like that, or you need leaders? Okay. What do y'all want to fish for? Let's start there.
We're going to.
Oh, okay. Roger that. Well, y'all have been paying attention to the weather, right? So that's going to be a real tricky one because have y'all ever been there before? Okay. Okay. So the parking lot is like over here. Then you have to walk through a part of the pier or a part of the park to get to the pier. And then depending on how far you're up on that pier, if a storm's coming in, you're going to probably get caught out there. Now, what I would recommend though is like Causeway Pier over here is a short pier. You only have to cast from like here to the concrete, and you can be on some big fish. And if it starts storming real bad, you can get out of the weather by running into the store, wait it out, and go right back to fishing. It does cost to get on the pier. Copart is free, whereas Causeway Pier is I think $2 a person, $1 a ride. Yeah. But there's chairs there, and there's really good fishing when the fish are there. Shrimp and fish bites would work best, and for the leaders, yes, I do. I got it frozen in 1 pound bags, and
Oh, you don't have any live?
no line, no line. I think it's funny. I'm actually talking how Bass Pro is supposed to come to Corpus, and we don't like the fact that they're going to get incentive tax breaks and all of that. Where it's supposedly, so yeah, I'm going to be on the news today at 6 o'clock. So I'm live on my channel. They're talking about it. But yeah, I got shrimp, Avet, and I also got crab and shark bait. On that, we'll cut that little tag off, and that's what will help us get your line through there.
Yeah, me and my brother and my cousin all got properties in Rockport that we grew up going to, but we don't even have a house anymore. That got booked away.
Oh man.
And then my dad normally sharing his, but he died.
Well, I'm glad you're still fishing.
That's why I was like, it's embarrassing that I never.
Okay. Well, this is going to help y'all out big time. I got a channel called Team Hard Life. I teach a bunch of knowledge and tactics on fishing, so that way you can kind of school yourself and learn of what's going on. And it's pretty easy with this rod since it's collapsible. Put the line through the guides. Carver's making a pain in the butt. And it's spinning on me, so. And that's probably why it was frustrating for y'all.
Yeah.
All right. So once you get it through and they're all facing the same way,
Yeah.
and you'll extend it, but just make sure to pull the line out, and you'll keep going from there.
And then you just tie the knot on it, the weight on it.
Yes.
I know the knot. I do remember that.
You do remember that?
I believe so.
Well, let's test it.
All
Make
right.
sure you don't flick your leader off.
Yeah.
You got a bag? I'll get you a bag. You know what? Yeah, right in the. Here, 2 liters. Yeah. Now, I got leaders. So many of them. I have to have them end up like that. I don't want to be, I'm going to do it every couple of minutes, freestyle. So, yeah. But leaders, we'll see the belt rock, we'll talk to the belt one. They'll touch you. One. I think I think you settled that a little bit more expensive. That's the price of the game. You will need better places. Probably get the one for that. Then what the way it we can, if you want to travel with the weight open. Are all y'all together? Fish said. No, you got the perfect. That's a little place for.
Yeah, I've never used it. I've always just used a little bit.
Yes. Well, that would be normally okay, but you see all the wind that's coming, that
Yeah.
creates a lot of current.
Yeah.
You see the leader? Yeah, just cut through the tape and bend them up. All you have to do.
Do you sell those shoes?
No, No, I found him online, and it was right after his assassination attempt. So I had to get him.
No, I like them.
You wear another?
No,
For
I'll,
display?
just for display. I bought them. So with mono, you can go through twice
Okay.
through the swivel, and then you see how it's making both loops like that.
Yeah.
Now that it's gone through, this is called a tag in. This is your main line. Take your tag around your main 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. On there, you're gonna send it right through both holes that you made, and then you'll cinch it down. A little bitty line. Just like that. All right. Now, your turn. Yep. Practice here so that way I'm here to help coach. That way you get out there and you can actually be fishing and you don't have to worry about it.
Did you put it right here?
No, through the top swivel right here. Right there.
So you go through once.
Yeah. Take time, boss. Don't worry. No, through the swivel.
Oh,
This is the swivel right here. Right through that eyelet right there. And all these knots that I'm showing you, no, oh yeah. Yeah, we're a little over 211,000 subs now, so
okay. So go through once.
go through again.
Go through again. It's a little small.
You can keep it all nice and big, and then you'll end up cinching it down anyways.
And go around.
So what you want to do is see how you've got them like that.
Yeah.
See how I'm kind of pinching the line so it stays open.
Yeah.
See, when you pull this tag in, it's going to get a little smaller, but you don't want to make it so small. And then you take your tag line around your main line 4 times. Let's see. What's up, Joe? Ray, how you doing? Dusty, let's see.
And then go through right here.
Yes.
Forward.
Yes, sir. Okay, so when you go through, you just push it through, and then you pull this tight.
Okay. Good.
It's so thin I can't see it.
Oh, I got it all the time.
Well, hold on. Let's see if it held on to it. No, it didn't look right. You didn't go around enough times.
Okay.
It would stack up like that. So, and you want to make sure it's good because, wow,
Yeah.
that really.
Okay. Right. Go through once.
Where are they putting the discount? You said Dixon, you said Bass Pro.
Bass Pro. Well, from what we heard a few years ago, they were trying to entice them to come by giving them tax breaks and incentives and this and that. And the reason I don't agree with it is as a local shop here, like, where are our tax breaks? Where are our
Yeah.
incentives to stay open? Like, we're struggling to do that, yet they're going to bring a multi-million-dollar operation that obviously has money,
Yeah.
you know,
And
to
I'm
do
ready
it.
to do discounts and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
they can do all of that. They don't need it.
What's the one loop one? Or is that not going to hold?
No, you can do it the one loop. So now you can just take it around your main line 4 times.
Okay, because that's the one that I remember doing.
Okay, so the one I was teaching you was the improved one, just because
Okay.
you're dealing with such thin line. Wrap it around 4 times and then right back through that hole, and that's it. You got to go 4 times. You can't do 2 because then it won't hold it enough. It'll actually it'll slip out. There you go.
This is so cool. It's not with like 3 done.
We make them all here. All those leaders, all the weights, the surf weights are actually made by us. So you don't have to pull this one. Pull this one. You want the knot to be on this side. You see how it's all stacked up now? Looks like a little larva.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Now you're good to go.
Okay.
All right. Fish bites is an artificial bait.
I know, I like this like system.
All right. Well, I've got new ones. I got the mullet, the shine, and the sand flea and goat shrimp.
I'll get a mullet and then I'll get some.
All right. Like real shrimp or the shrimp flake?
Oh, real shrimp.
Okay.
Oh, you can
Yeah, they're right there. And I also got fresh mullet in there too. We just got him in on Saturday. Looks for free.
What should you,
Where you can go, Chris? Okay, so there's still going to be a lot of wind, but usually about that, everybody, your back. So that's how it's going to roll it. But it'll need another place right here. I take on it. Set it off. That's the Dinosaurs and all that. Sometimes you can just put together and probably get it there. So whatever weight class of line you're going will determine what type of weight you use, but also too what you're capable of holding. Are you throwing a spinning reel or a bait cast? Oh, okay. So yeah, kind of the same deal. So there you go.
What do we do with these?
All right. So those will be the hooks. But for right now that you're not fishing, I'll show you a way to store them.
So when you're not fishing, when you use these,
No, there's only two. This, yeah, this is where the weight goes.
Oh, that's where that, this thing goes?
That's where the weight goes. Too.
Oh, okay.
And then you put the shrimp. You'll put the shrimp on there. What I like to do is I put a piece of well, I haven't used the mullet yet. It just came out, but everybody's raving about it. So I'll be honest, I haven't used it, but I'm liking it because it actually got some kind of flake inside of it, so it's probably a little bit more. Yes. Oh yeah. I'm foaming at the mouth to go fishing, but I'm right now working on some of the orders to start supplying fishing tank unlimited on Houston. So
okay, that's what
I'm working on that deal. So. But yeah, so put a piece of fish bite on and some shrimp on top, and you can work it. This bait elastic here, I'm highly recommended because when you put the shrimp on, if you peel it, you can wrap it with that bait elastic, and it'll keep it from coming off the hook. So
How much are these?
it's $9.99. Normally, just the little deal by itself is $7.25, but I encourage everybody to get that first, and then just get this as a recharge. When you finally wear that out, then you come get one of those. And
I think we'll get one next time, just to see around the world.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah.
But you'll
hook on.
do what?
You buy one hook to hook on, so I send you, this is for that.
Well, there's the two hook one and then a one hook one. So that'd be y'all's call. That's totally whatever you want to do. But if you're gonna go that route, then you're gonna be throwing a piece of mullet with your shrimp and throwing one hook at a time. Sometimes there's enough fish out there that you catch two at a time. So totally.
We'll just need it.
Actually, should we get to this? Okay.
I was just saying too, just in case you get out there and you break off and then you have a stack of follow-up. Because I do some, you'll see my tackle there, it'll be a little bit more expensive. So.
Okay, where does this go?
Right there where the double drums are,
And I said, what was the place to go?
causeway, bait, and tackle, right there. Any one of those, not so high, lower,
Lower.
right in there. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And you can put it in your map, and it'll take you right to the pier. And like I said, I like it because, especially in weather like this, you don't know any concern like that.
Yeah.
Running half a mile in your vehicle. Stay right. Pick it up. That's good.
This is, I get it.
Well, I do. It normally works on long runs. I don't know how well it's going to work on this one. It's a telescopic rod. Always put your hooks like that. Yeah, put them together so you always keep everybody that's fishing with you. That's kind of the thing. I show that to my kids and everybody else.
So these, after you open them, do I just tie it on
No. This will open up and the flip side
Oh,
out.
I see. Okay, I got it.
Close it back
I got
down.
it.
Oh, worries. Worries. And then you're at $35 each. It's just starting. I'll be on the news here in a few minutes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It ain't the first time. I'm not nothing new to the news and stuff like that. So, yep. Y'all have a good one. All right, guys. I'm gonna pull up the news, see what they have to say about how they're gonna put the story out. I'll be right with you. Give me just a second. Y'all from around here?
We live in Portland.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's a long drive to come over here.
We were shopping and so I stopped at the pier for a little bit before we go home.
Roger that. Oh, y'all gonna go? That's why you're going to Indian
Yeah.
Point because it's right down the street. Roger that. Okay. Let's see. But I'm trying to get where the live it is. Go to the YouTube. Maybe you can see it live there. Live on my channel, talking about it so that way they can go check it out themselves. Because I've never trusted it. Every time you talk a certain way, they'll clip it out just the way they want it to make it sound and stuff like that. So. Uh, So normally when they do that, I record it here or I'll be live here so they can see everything that's said on both sides and go from there. So I don't see anything for today. Yeah, let me get you checked out. All right. Have y'all ever tried the bait elastic?
No, what is that?
What it is it's an elastic that you wrap around your bait. So that way it stays on the hook a lot longer
Oh, okay.
and to keep it from flying off. Like when you cast out and or the shrimp or the bait fish will attack it, stuff like that. So it turns that 1 pound into like 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Get a little bit more time to do that. And all you do is wrap it around the shrimp and then you pop it off, but store it, put it back in there. So that way we don't
Oh,
keep
okay.
looking out.
Yeah.
And you got the red. No. 255. I can get you a bag.
That's fine. I'm just keeping it right top.
Right. Okay. And this is my YouTube channel, so you can check it out. We have a lot of knowledge on there. We do spooling videos too, where I'm up there spooling reels, showing you the knots and how to incorporate and stuff like that too. And you are good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck out there. All right, let's see. Oh, we knew that 6. Hard life. Yes, we have a third-party company that does it for us. Yes, sir. We can get it done that way. Yes, sir. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. What's up, Daniel Oscar? So, they're talking about the high school shooting. Not talking about us yet, but I guess they had the young man. So much violence, man. Crazy, crazy. Channel 3 is what the news report will be on. They're the ones that came to our school or came to my shop and. 'Cause, 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 Dang, that's crazy. They just showed the raw footage of that young man when he was shooting into school and stuff like that, and that's crazy, crazy, crazy. Uh, did you see it? You came out. Oh, I already came out. Did I already miss it? It won't. It won't show me. I don't know. I didn't. I couldn't find it in time when I had those customers right here, so I didn't see what it looked like on there. But I'm on the news feed right now. Was it like just a little introduction about them talking about the Bass Pro, or? Yeah, I saw that too, but the only reason I'm talking about it now is because I know what happened last time, what they were being offered, and the city council was trying to do that then, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to try and do it again, this one, and offer them all those tax breaks. And yeah, again, too, like I said, I'm not okay with that, especially when they have the ability to, they got the money to play with. We don't. You know what I mean? We're all the shops here were working extremely hard to provide services for everybody. Um, let's see, Henry just sent me a video. Jobs, but for one small business owner, he said he feels like the big fish coming to swallow the little fish. Owns Bait, Tackle, and S.P.I.D. He's been in the game long enough to know what it takes to help anglers land the big one, and says he can handle competition. But a city-backed retail giant, that's murkier water. I'm always open for people to grow and prosper. I just don't like it when you're forcing me to help somebody else who's not going to help me in return. He's talking about Bass Pro Shop possibly casting a line here in Corpus Christi with help from city incentives. One of his longtime customers, Art Zamora, owns a concrete paving business and says the bait may not be worth the bite. How are they going to feed their kids and families if we go that route, with some big Bass Pro Shop coming here to Corpus? I'm not okay with it. Recent Bass Pro openings in cities like Tyler, Texas and Fort Smith, Arkansas have all come with incentive packages. Councilman Roland Barrera says any deal here would be weighed carefully. Typically, it's been on land that has an ag exemption that we might be only getting $1,000 a year, $10,000 a year. So now if somebody's developing a property and now it's generating, hundreds of thousands to $1 million in revenue, then that's part of the balance. Right now, there's no deal on the hook, just interest. But with possible city incentives as bait, local businesses treading water, and a national retail heavyweight circling the area, this fishtail is just getting started. Michael Gibson, 3 News.
All right, Michael, thank you for that report. Well, the mayor
Okay.
tells 3 News that this week Bass Pro Shop officials will be in town to possibly hone in on that site location. Word is the possibilities range as widely as everywhere from the downtown area to along S.P.I.D have been mentioned as possibilities. We will, of course, keep you updated.
Well, tomorrow. Okay. All right. Well, he did a really good job. He did. I mean, we talked about a lot more on that, but again, too, again, it's just when they say $1,000. Okay, if it's only $1,000 per year, yes, that's not a whole lot. But $10,000 a year, that's a lot of money that comes out of the local taxpayers. It's not just them. I mean, that's a lot of money that those local schools in that area, those taxpayers, wherever they decide to build it, they're going to end up having to come out of pocket to cover those extra taxpayer dollars that would have came from those businesses or that business coming into that area. So, yeah, no, it's definitely something that we got to look at and maintain. And rest assured, I'm going to stay on it because, like I said, I'm not worried about them coming in. What I'm worried about is the tax breaks that they're going to get when our city is already talking about how much they're hurting. They can't pay for this. They can't fix this. They can't do this. they're always, I can't. But when it comes to a big business or these multi-billion-dollar operations getting tax breaks and tax cuts, oh, they let them do that. Like, come on, man. It you know, if they, I guess, showed us the bigger picture of what they're seeing and how they can make sense of it all to us and be more transparent of like who's getting money, who's not getting money, all of that plays into effect. That's exactly what I do with my guys here. Like I show them, okay, the amount of product that is brought in, how much they make per hour, this, that. I show them what I'm looking at, and so that way they have a full understanding of how it works. You know, from them making the gear to me turning around and selling it to judging how much pay we can do or bonuses and stuff like that. It is all important. So even for me as a small shop, it's important. And for the customers that, or the taxpayers or tax breaks that they're going to get in those areas, is going to be equally important to them too. So, yeah, it's kind of why I was on it about that, but I guess I had already missed it. So I'm going to have to see. But see, it's not giving me the option to go back and see it from the beginning. So, damn, that was quick. That might have been the first thing that popped up. Crap. Kind of upset on that. I'm gonna have to, I guess, wait till it goes live on their feed, and then I can backtrack and check it out. So, wow, Daniel. See, stuff like that, Daniel. If you can find information about that or where that was put, I mean, I know you're from that area and stuff like that, but if we can, put that together and show them what those tax breaks and incentives will do to the local taco shops that are here and stuff like that, it's really important. So another full story after the weather. Okay, well maybe I'll stay looking at it over here and see if it goes through. Uh, Damn, that was quick. I was trying to figure out where they were going to post the information at. So. Did he already go home or what? Oh. Did he text me? I don't, okay. There's a place like that. Exactly. Yep. Tactical's got that right. Uh, like I said, it's they're more of tourist trap destinations and stuff like that. They sell a lot of gear that you know will, like I said, it'll some of it make a season, and then after that, basically disposable gear and stuff like that. We primarily sell the stuff that they buy once and cry once, and it'll last you a long time. So, huh?
That sounds good.
What's up, Wingstop? How you doing, boss? Yeah, waiting, looking at what's going on here, but I think I might break out my dinner.
Did you try the stuff I got yesterday?
The what?
Try the stuff I got yesterday? The front yesterday.
I only got two. Yeah. Yeah. Now we got over there, and the kids still didn't get there for like another 30 minutes. It was like, man, I was sitting there just fuming. I was fuming a bit, yeah. So, but didn't get to. It's all right. Next year, we'll get back over there. Wow. Yeah, no, like I said, if it's done correctly, and they're not giving them a $50,000 a year or shit $10,000 a year. Still, that's huge. That's a lot of money that local area, wherever that shop is at, is going to make a major toll on them. You know what I mean? But, and just because they bring in those workers, I guarantee you they're not going to have those high dollar paying jobs. They may have 5 or 6 high dollar paying jobs, but all the rest are going to be local, average pay scale workers. They're not going to have 50 high paid employees. So, I really don't think they'll have that many, depending on how big it is, because everyone I've been to, we went to the Bass Pro up by Houston. We've done the one down in Harlingen. I know I've done them in other parts of Texas. I don't remember where, but I normally, when I see one, I'm like, oh, I want to check it out just to see if they have something different. But again, too, they're very, very inclined to be with whatever style of fishing is for that area. I went to one and they had a bunch of horse feed and stuff like that. Like, they had stuff for like feeding horses and cattle and stuff like that more than, fishing tackle. And this one was like way up north. We're like leaving Texas or something like that. See what Daniel said. Holy smokes. There's Daniel right there. For 20 years, they get those tax breaks. Now, that is retarded. That is crazy retarded. I wonder if they got any more information. Oh, no, it's a screenshot. Okay. Well, we're going to have to look at that because, God, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Daniel. It's no thousands of dollars like these, like that one city council member made that comment, 1,000 or 10,000. If it's in the millions, that's a lot of money that the local taxpayers are gonna have to pay. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I can understand that too. There, and eye candy for sure. Ooh, it looks like we got some rain inbound. Good. Hopefully it hits up north, floods Lake Corpus Christi back. But I just got to thinking about that too with Lake Corpus Christi. We went up there a few months ago for the veterans fishing or the veterans event that we get together. They've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years now. We were at a spot that we had to walk down about 100 yards just to get to the water. And that was after you dropped down like 10 to 15 feet and still had to walk about 100 yards to get to the water's edge. And the weeds that were normally like this big were now trees. They were towering over us. So that is, wow, that just got me thinking. Great. It's going to create a lot of area for fish and like create a lot of structure for the fish to hide and stuff like that. But again, too, that's very dangerous because a lot of those areas are near the docks where, I'm pretty sure they were used to jumping in and stuff like that. And, man, to jump into a bunch of trees like that, that could be really dangerous. You know what I mean? Really dangerous. But then also, too, it's going to affect your fishing, too, because now there's that many more catch points in that area that weren't normally there. So they may have to invest into, dredging out that area so that way they can actually have a fishing spot where they don't lose all their gear or they have to strictly fish with floats and stuff like that. So let's see, I'm kind of waiting over here. Talk about light chap, wind. Yep. We've seen that too, Night Hunter. And then, and like I said too, my guys here, workers are not allowed to talk to customers until I have fully vetted them. Like, I know that they know what the hell they're talking about. So it's very important to me on that one. So let's see what happens here. I'm kind of inquisitive on what they're gonna say or how they're gonna put it out there in that portion. There you go, Sputnik. Nice. Killed him on the SX Raptor. And was it the SX Raptor? I just making sure before I say that. On the rigs, got 4 40-inch drums and 1 bull red. Which rigs were you using, boss? Keep looking that way because I'm waiting for to see if they're going to follow up with it and stuff like that too. So. Yep, them Jack Crevalle rigs. And see, and one guy goes, I don't want to catch just Jacks. I said, I only named it Jacks because just to show you the amount of brutality that these leaders can take. He goes, oh. I was like, because the redfish, I said, they're already, natural fighters. They put up a great fight, and those leaders will handle them, no worries. But when I want to make better, bigger leaders or more improved ones, since I already have bull red and big black drum leaders named, I figured I'd go with the Jack Crevalle because I mean, those get a lot bigger than the bull reds in fight, not really in size. I mean, the biggest jack I've caught was probably 50, maybe 52 inches. Not, I mean, I've caught bigger bull reds for sure, but the fight on those jacks was enormous, enormous. So. There you go. Okay, I'm watching because they're starting to title a bunch of things over here on the deal. Um, yeah, no, that definitely, Michael, that is definitely what we're paying more attention to, and that's why I keep sharing it to the channel because a lot of guys within the city don't really know what's going on. Like I ran into some people that they were talking about the desal plant and this and that, and I was like, that water ain't for us, right? And they're like, yes, it is. They keep saying desal, and they're gonna that we need more water. I said, yes, we do need water. We are in drought conditions, but the desal plant that they're talking about starting up first is not for us. And I sat there and explained. They're like, wow, we didn't know that. I said, I know that everybody has that mentality that all here's the desal portion. They're not putting it out there in enough. They're not putting out enough information for people to understand that it's not for us. It's for the incoming businesses, especially on that first one they're talking about. And then the other one that they're talking about bringing in the salt water and basically heating it up and putting it right back into that bay area. So that's going to keep the only time that bay it's going to be good for that warm water is during the winter. During the summer, it's going to raise the temperature of that bay, which is not going to be good at all for anybody on that area. So it's something else on that one too. That's another one that I know that they were fighting over there in the Port A area, but they're also doing the same thing. They're trying to get it to where they build the desal plant and put in that inner harbor area and stuff like that. So. And I think Connor Brown just, let's see. Might have a special guest. Might have a special guest. This will be cool. Let's see. I'm waiting for him to respond. No, you don't. You don't want to do that, Sputnik. You don't want the hook and the weight to be the same length. Because yes, I have tried that, and what ends up happening, the hook tends to hook onto the weight, or they get tangled up on each other. That's why I had to go the separate lengths on them to make that happen. So yeah. Also, too, when you go to cast out, all the swinging of back and forth, don't do that. If you're going from, like you see me when I'm going to cast, I start at a stop position. I go from stop to go, and that's how I cast out, and that keeps it from doing that helicopter. I still get a spin effect depending on which way I hook the bait. Sometimes it'll spin up on the main line and stuff like that. But for the most part, once it drops into the water, it comes undone once it's in the water and stuff like that. So I keep having to look because when it changes whatever it's showing, I don't want to miss out if it comes back to it and they readdress about the Bass Pro. That'll be a good one right there. So also too, Sputnik, which leader was it that I sent you? Was it the 3-way long or the 3-way short? I don't remember exactly everything that went out. So oh, and um, yeah, yeah. I tend to use that one a lot when I'm fishing out at Goose Island because a lot of times I'm using nothing but pyramids out there. But I'll still also use that leader when I'm fishing at Causeway Pier, just because, again, too, I will admit this, even though I own a tackle shop, I still bargain shop. And for me, um, there's a lot of times when it's easier and cheaper for me to use the Jack Crevalle leaders over using the big black drum leaders. Now, granted, I eat through them a lot more, and what I need to do is do a video and a testing of my own leaders against my own leaders. It has to be a tough one. That'll be insane because I've done my leaders and weights against other people's weights, and they just always think to seem I'm bashing on them and stuff like that. But that's just a blind side by side comparison. You know what I mean? And go from there. So. And that's what I try to get some other YouTubers to do, compare my gear to other people's gear. And the one guy I gave a whole bunch of tackle to do that, I saw one video where he was using my gear, he caught with my gear, but never once mentioned my gear's name or my name, nothing. He just said what gear he was using or the bait he was using on this hook and this and that, and he threw it out and caught drum. Like, hey, thanks for the shout out, man. Like that was the whole point of you getting my gear. So that's why at that point I was like, I'm not interested in sponsoring a guy like that, with my gear and stuff like that. But again, too, some people do get to that spot where I guess if they're not getting paid enough, they're not going to use it. But at the same time, if they're going to be like that, they should be right up front and say, well, I can't use other people's gear for that reason. So, oh, they're still talking about the streets and the utilities. Looking over here. City manager search. I have to do those with another pair of cutters because they have a diagonal cut on them. So it's good that we're getting a lot of, not a lot of rain, but we are getting, man, those times there was some heavy downpours yesterday. I know one time it got pretty heavy. We had to slow way down on the highway just because the windshield wipers couldn't even keep up with it. Well, I'm working on it, guys. I can tell you this, that I got a big box over here that's halfway full with the gear that they've already agreed to purchase, but they've also left the door open for me to bring other gear I'm just trying to get it all barcoded so that way I don't have to, go over there, come back and barcode it and then take it back up there. I'd rather just have it done and set in stone and go that way. And hopefully they buy it all. That way, because the way I look at it, guys, when you go in there looking for my gear, you're looking for an assortment of my gear, like a big assortment, not a assortment of gear. Like I don't want to, pinch of salt on there. Like I want you to be able to go in there. There it is again. They were talking about it. Why can I pause but I can't rewind it? Dang it. I guess they're going to talk about it again at 10 o'clock. It says previously recorded. Okay, well, why can't I move it? Like,
And Leslie Adamy, it was a muggy, overcast, and rainy start to the
okay. Let's see. Saturday we'll be going to Houston, the Valley. Well, I will not be here Saturday, Daniel. Jeff will be here. We have the dang, none in Mathis. Alice got a crap load of rain, a lot of rain along the Gulf Coast. And then again, too, if we're not busy here, Jeff will leave the shop early, He'll probably be here till maybe 2. But this weekend is the Veterans Fishing event in the at Surfside. So that's where we're going to be there. I've not tried coin seekers in a rocky area, so I honestly I don't know how that's going to work out. I definitely want to see how that sounds or works out for you on that one.
one group. Bass Pro Shop may be Christi, but not everyone has their support.
Some point out that great jobs, others say that they've got local businesses. Michael Gibson has the story that's got the city talking, even as some small bait shop owners see the story. Talk of a Bass Pro Shop coming to town has people hooked, but not everyone's on board. Supporters say it could reel in 200 new jobs. But for one small business owner, he says it feels like the big fish coming to swallow the little fish.
A lot of guys use blue crab and they put them on a float.
Alberto Certucci owns Hard Lice Bait and Tackle and S.P.I.D. He's been in the game long enough to know what it takes to help anglers land a big one, and says he can handle competition. But a city-backed retail giant, that's murkier water.
I'm always open for people to grow and prosper. I just don't like it when you're forcing me to help somebody else who's not going to help me in return.
He's talking about Bass Pro Shop possibly casting a line here in Corpus Christi with help from city incentives. One of his longtime customers, Art Zamora, owns a concrete paving business and says the bait may not be worth the bite.
How are they going to feed their kids and families if we go that route, with some big Bass Pro Shop coming here to Corpus? I'm not okay with it.
Recent Bass Pro openings in cities like Tyler, Texas and Fort Smith, Arkansas have all come with incentive packages. Councilman Roland Barrera says any deal here would be weighed carefully.
Typically, it's been on land that has an ag exemption that we might be only getting $1,000 a year, $10,000 a year. So now somebody's developing a property and now it's generating, hundreds of thousands to $1 million in revenue. And that's part of the balance.
Right now, there's no deal on the hook, just interest. But with possible city incentives as bait, local businesses treading water, and a national retail heavyweight Circling the area, this fishtail is just getting started. Michael Gibson, 3 News.
All right, Michael, thank you for that report. Well, the mayor tells 3 News that this week Bass Pro Shop officials will be in town to possibly hone in on that site location. Word is the possibilities range as widely as everywhere from the downtown area to along S.P.I.D have been mentioned as possibilities. We will, of course, keep you updated.
Well, tomorrow marks one. Yeah. So again, like I said, that's what I notice about city officials too. They'll say, "Oh, it's only this, this, and this." No, they're gonna offer incentives like that other one in Garland where they offer $20 million incentives to them for 20 years. Like, that's not chump change. Like, who's getting the money? You know what I mean? They're I'm sorry, you can't. They're, if they're putting businesses out of order there, in that area for that much incentive, what do they think they're going to do here? How much? Which one's bigger, Garland, Corpus? Like, it's pretty crazy to think of that. So, yep. Let's see. Hmm. Hey, but you know what? You know what? I saw that and I thought that was pretty funny, but at the same time, I was thinking of the movie of Sherlock when he's drawing the fish, and then the fish turns around and eats the fisherman. Yep. So yeah, I don't ever count myself out. That's for dang sure. But again, too, I do a lot of businesses with a lot of businesses here, and for them, when they get hurt, it hurts me. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see any of the tackle shops that I do business with hurting in any way. I know you see me all the time sending people to those other tackle shops. I share the wealth, but I only do that with the businesses that are doing it with me. If they ain't sending people my way, why am I going to send business their way? You know what I mean? You got to scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. That's the way it works. So uh, the store is in Garland next to a lake. Wow. Well, it's tough. It really is tough to weigh in on something like that. And granted, we don't have no lakes here. The best spot for them to go is like the downtown Corpus, which again, too, they wouldn't be able to say they would have an agricultural uh, discount there because there's no agriculture there. So, yeah, we'll see, guys. But I will definitely keep y'all posted. But I am going to have to let y'all go because I'm almost done with breaking all these weights and I'm going to have to be on the computer and looking at my paperwork back and forth. And I got to focus on that because I'm creating the final bit of barcodes that I need for the order going to FTU. As soon as I get on my way over there, it'll probably end up being Friday morning. I'm gonna talk to them to see if I can set up the meeting for Friday morning, so that way I don't have to go up there, for leave in the afternoon and then deal with them in the morning and then come back when I can just go up there on Friday since I'm already going to Surfside, and I'll have somebody with me to watch my gear so none of it gets stolen out of the bed of my truck because we're doing that veterans fishing event there too. So yeah, definitely something else to look at. But I will let y'all know as soon as I get there. And Sputnik says, took my reel to get spooled at Bass Pro. Never again missing out on all the knowledge to do with things properly on a smaller shop has to offer. Yeah. It'll actually be both stores. I'm supplying FTU and the main FTU, and he's going to be putting it both tackle shops. So that's going to be the bonus. You won't have to go to one of them over the other. He's going to be splitting up the amount of gear I got there, and granted, he's still ordering in numbers to test it. And I'm like, dude, like, you put that much on there. Once my customers know, you're going to be having to place an order the next week. Like, and I'm not going to go up there for a little bit. You got to understand, gas is expensive, time is expensive. So again, guys, like, That would be awesome, guys. I would love to know that I made a delivery and that they were sold out by that next weekend with our gear, because then that would give them a lot of incentive to want to order a lot more gear, guys. So I'm definitely game for that, and that would be one of my things that I'm definitely working on. I will be letting y'all know that because it's been hard, guys. This is probably the most difficult order I've had to produce, just because the amount of red tape that I've had to go through to make it happen. Creating barcodes and having all that set up, I've had to look at a whole bunch of different options, from buying barcodes from another company and they produce them for me. But I didn't like that option, because then I would have to buy X amount of barcodes from them, probably 1,000 at a time. And then two, trying to keep up with that would have been pretty crazy. So, what's up, Skipjack? How you doing? Are you talking about the a manager that works there, or what there, Oscar? Kruger Automotive in the house. What's up, boss? Trying to recover from a long weekend. You do a lot of fishing, Skip? Oh, the manager. Well, there's a bunch of managers there, boss. There's quite a few of them that are that are up in age there, man. So that really don't help. I know when I was there, I probably saw 5 or 6 of them that are up in age over there at the Gulf Freeway. That's kind of hard to know. Do you know which department he was at? He works the front decks. It's full flying. Okay. I don't think I dealt with that one. I don't remember. But again, too, like I said, I'm going to be honest. I don't know all their workers. I don't go there enough. But I do know that, when I'm talking to Joe and some of the other managers and stuff like that, there's quite a few of them that, they I will have to say this, they protect their store very much. Like, in the sense that, like, if you ain't vetted, you don't go upstairs, kind of deal. Like, and uh, basically, I was told, the front guys didn't know that I already was vetted and I was already supposed to go upstairs, so they wouldn't even let me go past. And then finally, they come down and, no, he's good. He can go. He can go. And they're like, oh, okay, then you can go. So I don't know what the situation was, but not trying to create an excuse. I'm just trying to give you a better understanding from what I ran into while I was there. So, yeah. Nice. There you go. They just had a tent sale a few weeks ago. Yeah. And I know when they do that tent sale, they get pretty booked up and stuff like that too. So um, I want to see how that rolls out for us and stuff like that. Just trying to finish up this order, the weight order for Fishing Tackle Unlimited. We're gonna start supplying them with our gear, leaders, surf weights, regular weight. Well, not yet on the regular weights, but that is what they were talking about as well. Um, but I want my gear. Like, I want a lot of gear in there, not just for show, like, because I know the amount of products that I sell because they all sell, not because I want to make my walls look pretty or look full with gear that doesn't sell. I can't afford that. Everything that is in here has to sell, or it doesn't stay in here. Like, I get rid of it. So, see. All right, hold on real quick, guys. Got a special guest. All right, we're back. Well, hopefully our prices will give them the ability to work theirs a lot better. So we'll see on that there at Sputnik. I don't know what their local guy charges them and stuff like that on their weights and stuff. So we'll see. Hopefully we can. But I do know this, like my weights, they work. They work everywhere we put them at. Dude, I've seen Walmart and Academy with $8 weights, and they were just crappy. Basically, remember the old copper weights that their legs are about like this long, and the twist on them like this, and they're 8 ounces. I saw them; they were like $8 for them, and I was like, God, like I know I'm like $4 cheaper than that. You know what I mean? At my price here as a retail. And so my dealers, obviously they have to buy in bulk and they got tax exempt, so they have to buy more, than that, and they get it a little bit cheaper. So I don't know. We'll definitely know for sure. Your surf weights work. Let's see. Let's see. He's trying to get on. I was trying to use the link through the computer to get onto the channel, and I was like, it doesn't work because I guess I'm on a phone and he's on a computer. So, and also too, the phone ain't as hot. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in. The phone ain't as hot as it normally is because they got the AC to finally work a little bit better, but they're supposed to come in tomorrow afternoon, and because I didn't know I was going to be open today, I was forgetting that some of the plans that they originally had um, set up for the family and actually got canceled. So um, I ended up being here all day. So do you think those Carolina rigs is because you're fishing in an area that has a lot of rocks there, Sputnik? And also, too, have you tried using the no roll weights? Mm-hmm. The only time I don't use pyramids is when I'm offshore. Just because I've seen where they spin up a bunch if I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I normally tend to use like cannonball or bank weights when I'm going deep like that or offshore fishing like that. So. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to be able to happen tonight. Let's see. But I have used, even in the jetties though, when I'm fishing up close, I'll tend to go with the egg weights, just because I don't have any no roll feeders or no roll weights that are smaller than a 1 ounce. And a lot of times when you're going for like trout or flounder up close like that, not trout, but flounder and sheephead, I tend to go with like a 1/4 ounce or an 1/8 ounce or a 3/8 ounce, and they don't have that weight in a no roll. I think I've seen them somewhere, but I have never seen a mold for them. So it's definitely somebody custom made one. So. Hmm. So I've seen that as well. There's Sputnik. Are you talking about like the casting rig where they have the surf weight and they bring the bait up to it? What's up, boss?
So far, it's been cooling.
Yeah, we're sitting at 70,
Yes, sir.
but it's also rainy and overcast.
Ah, right. Well, the humidity is also what's doing it, so I don't know. The heat, yeah, the heat probably. Um, I'm still gonna open up that box and clean out. He hasn't brought me that special cleaner wherever the dealers get. And I looked at Home Depot to try to get something that just in case he couldn't get it next year too. And they don't have anything. Same stuff I've been using. It's not aggressive enough. Because it's gunk is bad in there.
Yeah, you got to spray it on, and it foams out and cleans it out and stuff like that.
Wash it down because it's acidic.
Yeah.
They got that just little foam, and but it just won't cut it like that. It's just you don't even have to wash it off. It's not aggressive, you know.
Yeah.
So I want the stuff that I've got to wash off, but I'll wash off real good. Well, it won't ruin it.
Right. The good thing is you got that pan up there in the drain, so you can rinse it off there.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually pull it all the way outside.
Yeah, yeah, right. And but man, I mean, if that don't get it, then just replacing that whole. What is that? That's one's the evaporator core, and then you've got the condenser evaporator core. I don't know what the.
Shit, at that point, you might as well just replace the system because
And
we
it's
don't.
new out there.
Uh,
It's a brand new system.
well, no, I'm talking about the inside system.
Yeah.
That one's been there since.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but also too, we don't even have heat during the winter.
Yeah.
And luckily, this past winter wasn't cold enough. A few years ago, I had to put a blower in here just to get some kind of heat because it was bad. Yeah.
And you had a lake on one side and
Yeah.
an iceberg on the other.
Yes, sir.
Damn it, man. Always something, didn't it? Hey,
Yep.
While it's just being you, I want to ask you. Somebody said that they saw on YouTube or something that some black guy came in and grabbed some reels.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I designed my shop to be personal. Like when
Right.
you come in, I want you to feel at home, to look at the gear and stuff like that. Well, I didn't have locks on my counters.
Yeah.
Well, over
This is just
here,
recently.
yeah, well, it's like 2 months ago now.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe 3. But yeah, I was dealing with the customer over here, and I was talking with him, dealing with his questions, and he opened up the counter there when I was
over here?
yeah one of my counters over here that had reels in it,
Yeah.
and he stuck a reel in, and he went and asked me a question. I turned and looked, and I answered his question, then I was answering his questions, and then he got up to another reel, and then he walked over here and went into my expensive reel counter and sold another reel. So everything totaled up to about $1,000 worth of reels in 3.
Yeah.
So we found out who he was.
You You got video though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we had video. He was looking right at the camera.
Come on.
I guess he thought they didn't work. But yeah, no, we found out who he
I
was.
never even noticed them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's one of the first things they should do when they come in and look around for cameras. But then a lot of places have them and they don't.
They don't work.
So you call the cops.
Yeah, we called the cops, but we actually did more with everybody on YouTube and on Facebook that we had his name, his address within the first hour.
Come on, somebody said, "Hey, I know that fool."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so the cops go over there and get them. And
No,
they look at the video.
They came over here. They took all the information. They've got the camera footage because I was able to replay it for them. But now that we already turned all his information in, I don't even know if the detective hasn't come to talk to me yet. But he called me up because he's basically shitting bricks right now because he's saying that he might go back to prison because of this. And I was like,
You should.
well, this ain't, I wasn't the only shop. 3 other shops that he had been
And,
to.
they're a small shop. It's not like it's an academy or something. And that hurts things too. But it's like your, mom and pop place.
Yep.
Coming in and fucking y'all over.
Yes, sir. So, well, we like I said, we were in contact with his family. They're they've come and made several payments on it and stuff like that. And I'm like, look, if y'all can get this done before everybody else gets involved, well then I'll back off. But until I get fixed, you know what I mean? You're not gonna fix or help anybody else out by being still on drugs or doing this. I go, and if I had 2 other shops call me, hey, that's the same guy.
He'd already done it 2 other shops.
He'd already done it. Not.
At it and they said, hey, that's the same guy.
Yeah, actually, I don't know how they got it because one is tools. They have power tools and this and that. He walked out with like a $800 tool out of their shop. So yeah, I was like, wow.
I'm glad you caught him.
The only reason I caught him was because my counter was so full, and I saw a gap, and I was like, hold on, but I didn't.
Is he still here?
No, he had just walked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, crap. And so I looked, and I couldn't prove anything because I was thinking, still trying to give the dude the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they pushed the reel too far over. He didn't properly face it. So when I looked at the camera, by the time I ran outside, he was gone. And so that's when I went to Facebook and YouTube. But we found out who it was within the hour.
You had to spend on that too. Hours.
No.
With the cops.
Oh, yeah.
On Facebook. And now dealing with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Time.
Time and
Stealing
money.
time.
Yep.
He stole your real, he's stealing your time.
Well, that he also, now I have locks on it. I've never had locks on my cases. You know what I mean? And
like you said, being more versatile and people were more like, yeah. But they just gotta understand.
Yeah, no, everybody does. Now they're thinking I should have had it on sooner. I've been in here over 10 years and never have caught anybody like that. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that gear hasn't been stolen from here before. Like they probably stole leaders and weights and stuff.
And he was slick too, though, huh? He was acting all cool.
Yeah.
He's got experience at it.
And I felt it. Like I was on guard about him, but I wasn't like constantly just staring at him because I was looking. I was dealing with the other customer.
And then the media and internet and everybody, they're training us not to be like racial profiling and stuff. They're like, oh, if you're doing the black guy, oh, it's just because I'm black.
Yeah. No, it's been actually a blessing with everybody showing their support and everything too and stuff like that. So, but yeah, no, we're on the way. I mean, that was a deep hole that was dug, but we're slowly climbing out of it. So.
And his family's gonna try to make it right.
Yes, but I also, he actually called me and asked me if I could take down the video. And I said, the only way I'm going to take down, the only way I'm taking that video down is if I know that you have gotten the help that you need for your drug addiction.
Yeah.
I said, because you're no help to anybody, especially your family. Like that's the main ones at the end of the day,
This may be, I mean, it's all things come together for good, it seems, but this might be something that will change his life. But
I'm hoping so because had I seen him, like I was standing right there, but again, you've dealt with me long enough. When I talk to you, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking over here and talking to you. You know what I mean?
Somebody yesterday, and they were talking to me, but they're looking over here, and I'm over here, and I'm like, oh man, this guy's different. I was like, is he on drugs?
you see,
Does
you
he
see
not
what
want to see my, does he not want me to see his eyes, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so,
Because me, when I was on drugs, they could tell. I mean, I was always bad. Me, I'm clean, man. I've straightened up my life. It's good. But
beautiful.
yeah, but I was wondering what's up with him. Why did? But when he was talking to you though, what you said you were talking to somebody else,
Yes.
and so you were just
So I was
yeah.
from, split seconds here to split seconds here, and that split second,
Oh, shit,
that fast, yes.
But
That
it
quick.
seemed, now the other guy that you were talking to,
Mm.
you sure they were separate, or this guy wasn't putting a block on you for him?
I cannot confirm nor deny, boss.
Yeah.
But this other guy, he had a legitimate gripe. You know what I mean? So I was dealing with him.
So he
And
had a complaint.
yes, he had a complaint, and so I was dealing with him, but it just happened to be perfect timing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know,
And
but
whether it could be, he might have just been blocking,
well, I mean, it'll come to light.
A distraction.
It'll come to light, when this guy has to face the consequences. Because if he's looking at going back to prison,
Yeah.
well, do you have an accomplice?
Yes.
And then if it comes out, then
Right.
we know. If it doesn't, then
Yeah.
I don't want to assume. I
Right,
never
I got
want to
you.
assume.
I
So.
got you. Yeah. Oh man. It's tough.
Yeah.
Because you got cameras and audit.
Well, yeah, then that they work. That it's and I proved that they work. Like
And you had everything so tight in there to where it left the space.
yeah. Yes, sir.
Like when you with the tools on the wall, having a little picture there, but where you see,
When one's gone,
something,
yeah.
maybe like pink behind it or something, to where you see when something's gone.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
But I haven't forgot you on this. I started, and I've checked it over the weekend, make sure that it wasn't freezing up. And it
Well, I put it at 75
You did
for
good,
the
man.
for the weekend
I'm
deal.
sorry for the inconvenience. I know it makes it harder.
Yeah.
But it'll save it, keep you from going without.
Yeah.
I'll tear into that thing, and probably tomorrow, the next day. I would like to.
Well, tomorrow I will be here late.
Yeah.
That's the one. I'll be here
And that'll work good.
till 8 or 9. Tonight I wasn't planning to be here this long.
And then, so if we're gonna do it, then what we do, we'll just turn it down real cold.
Mhm.
Try to get it as cold as we can in here.
Yeah.
Because I gotta shut it off.
Got to shut it off. Yeah.
Because there can't be any air moving when I spray it on there and let it soak. And it's got to soak. I don't know how long. I haven't looked at it.
The last time they did it at my house,
30 minutes, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, which ain't much.
Yeah, you don't want it soak long because it eats at the metal.
It'll eat the metal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I'll have the water set up and everything ready, and we shut it off, and I'll soak it. And it's gonna be easy. It looks like picking that box apart up top,
Mhm.
and then putting it back together and getting it closed up enough to where we can turn it back on and do it.
Roger that. Well, like I said, I'll be here, and
Yes.
yeah, I'll start dropping the temperature first thing in the morning, so that way it's nice and cool by the afternoon, like it is now, and go from there.
About what year is those? That's from the 60s,
I-
70s?
Yeah,
80s?
easily 60s, 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are older than that. I've got some in the 50s and 40s up
See,
there.
when I was, it's kind of something, and even that one, was about the same, like 70s, something like that.
Yeah.
And see, when I was a kid, those were still looking new to me.
Uh-huh.
So now it's something to me, like I'm 59 now, and I'm looking at these, and I'm like, man, I remember back when those looked new. I think I even had one of these.
Well, Brandon's buddy, the gentleman that came in.
Oh, yeah, John.
Yeah,
Great guy, man.
yeah, he was talking about that. He was in the Marine Corps and stuff like that. And I was, oh, really? What years? And he said 75 to 79. I was like, I'm gonna make you feel real. And he goes, how's that? I was like, bro, that's the year I was born. Was in '79.
Man, that dude's like what, 60? We had his birthday over here the other day. I think 69 years old.
Yeah.
Frank said, "Where you want to go?" "Well, I want to go to Publix." He said, "Man, I like Twin Peaks." And then he said, "Remember they had this this restaurant down here where they served you in lingerie." He said, "Man, that was good." I never even.
What's that? The Ojos Locos?
Yeah. So they got those in other cities, huh?
Yeah.
And he said they had one here, but that didn't go over. They didn't make them down.
Well, there was another one a long time ago. The Ojos Locos is still open, but there was another one that was further down.
Yeah. Oh, there is one here that serves as lingerie?
It's
Yeah.
not there anymore. That's the one that are closed.
Yeah.
The Ojos Locos is another one that I guess it's lingerie or very
I think
revealing.
that's the one you're talking about. But yeah, he loves the ladies, man. And that girl, she came out singing happy birthday and all the way about to leave. I said, hey, he sure would like a birthday hug. Oh, he liked that.
Yeah.
Being his wingman, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I like old John. He's real cool. Man, he has been a hell of a character, bro. Bandito. I mean, ain't no telling all of what that man has seen.
Right.
But he's straightened up. He seems like he's living a good life now.
Good deal.
He might be living a good life because of the bad life he lived.
Yeah.
Ain't no telling, but
We all have it, bro. We all
Yeah.
have some kind of past, bro. Some worse than others, but
yes, sir.
yeah.
We're doing good.
Amen.
Thank you, brother.
You have a blessing, boss.
Likewise, man, we are.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I was just talking to somebody about God working in our lives and what, doing for us the things we can't do, but not doing for us the things that we're able to do, but just we refuse to do,
Mm-hmm.
And then it was talking about how, God enriching our life and stuff. Going out to Brandon's house. And I ran down the road and I saw it from a great distance. I mean, here to the freeway. Further than that. And it was all shining up there on the bridge. And I thought, man, I hope that's a cooler. I hope that's could look like a Yeti.
Mm.
But I hope that's a cooler. And I got on up there and sure enough, it was laying there wide open. A 20-quart Orca.
Mm-hmm.
That like it's like a Yeti.
Yeah.
$200 something cooler. If somebody had lost it now, if they put their name and number on the bottom of that box, I could be calling them.
Yeah.
But there ain't no name and number under there, so.
Oh man, I saw another cooler like that on the highway,
Yeah.
and I was like, nah. I said it was too much of a rush hour. I said that's too dangerous for me to turn around and try.
There was nobody there, so I ended up. Yeah, it looked like this one.
Mm.
What? I don't know if this one says $234 from Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I like them little fishtail, them little clips on it.
Never seen that.
It needs Orca.
That's cool. Well, you got yourself a cooler now.
We don't need that.
Trying to get it off of you real quick. Yep.
I appreciate it.
Roger that. Later, boss. Ooh, jambalaya with shredded pork rib. Ooh, dude, you got my mouth watering there, man. Let's see. Man, look, the phone is doing good. The phone is doing good. We're at about an hour and 40 minutes in and still no heating up over here. What's up, Mr. Brown?
What's up, Mr. Albert? How are you, sir?
I am here breaking weights.
You seem very busy today.
I'm all over the place today. Built
That's
leads,
every day though, ain't it?
barcodes, broken weights, made a delivery, came back, and now I'm online.
Sounds like you've had a rough last couple of days or something going on.
Oh yeah, no, I've been at it, but yeah, no, and actually it's funny, getting you on the line. I finally found all my reels. For a while there, I couldn't find two of them, and so again, yeah. So now I'm gonna start concentrating on the different size weight because I know, like you told me the last time, I was going from the Avet reel to this and that, and man, I
Well,
accomplished
that
what I was
was
going to accomplish,
right.
with proving the braid can handle it and do it and stuff like that. But it showed the amount of work that had to be put into it. But now this last one, I finally just concentrate on just straight casting, straight tournament, like sticking with the program that y'all have out there for the tournament, and I finally broke 700. And I was consistently, I think I hit 700 like a dozen times that day. Like I was casting every round trying to get in there, and it worked out. So
Well, you do it with the average just so you can prove a point. I mean, that's why you do it. I mean, that's what you fish with. So you wanted to prove a point that you can cast it, as far as you can cast it, which you have. Um, but I did watch some of that video that you posted the other day. Everything looks like it's coming good, good with you. So that's a plus. What is going on? Touch up. I don't want touch up. No.
what
Okay.
what's
I'm
happening?
touching. I'm touching too much stuff on the phone.
Stick to casting, bro. Stick to casting.
Yeah,
Hey,
content's not for me.
dude, y'all did fantastic out there, bro. I was kind of following along whenever I could. When it would pop up on Dan's feed, I would try to look at it, but I've been jumping through hoops over here, working. Shoot, a couple of times I was here till 4 in the morning working, and then be home. Go home, still get up at 7 to take the kids to be at school, and be back here by 8. Like
Man, man. Yeah, no, we did good. Anyone listening that doesn't know, my name is Connor Brown. I'm on the Team USA long distance casting. We actually just got back a week and a half ago from Argentina at the World Championship, where we placed fifth overall as a country. Um, and myself and Ryan Lambert placed in the top 10 overall individual. I came in eighth, and Ryan came in sixth. With that, we also had two second place accomplishments in the 175 and 100 gram. I was able to get second in the 175, and he was able to get second in the 100 gram. So a lot of good things coming from the first Worlds event of the USA sending the team to compete. So
that
it's
was
a
a
lot.
statement. That's a statement right there, bro. First time competing in worlds, and y'all are in the markers right there. That's congratulations, man. Y'all have worked damn hard for it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's definitely it's a lot different than what you're used to here to um here at our casting tournament, our local casting tournaments, we put flags in the ground, you reel up, walk back, get ready to cast again. There was three groups. There was a women's and two men groups of 24, 25 casters each. So there's about 50 casters in all for men. Um, but the women's will throw first, and group one and group two, the men's will throw. Well, they measure every time. And then on top of that, while you're walking out there, people don't know how to bob and weave over lines and get untangled. So they're yelling stop. Then they mic your line every once in a while. So you would throw, and you might not throw for another 2.5 hours.
Wow.
So the difference of going hot, cold that we're not used to, like we're used to throwing, 10, 15 times a day at a tournament,
Yeah.
sometimes more if you don't have many people show up. But it was just going from hot to cold was something new and different for sure. It was very, very strange. And the competitors, top notch guys, great people there. Couldn't speak a lick of English, and I couldn't speak a lick of Spanish, but we made it work. Ryan,
I
Ryan,
heard,
thankfully
I
could.
heard Ryan had to do a lot of the translating for y'all.
Yeah, thankfully we had Ryan because I don't know what they were talking about or saying. They could have been talking bad about us the whole time, but he was having conversations with them. I just look at him and he just started laughing. I'm like, I don't even want to know what you just said. I'm just gonna walk away. um,
Dan was having a lot of fun too. He was trying.
he he had a lot of fun. I, I had to reel him in a little bit every now and then, but he was having fun. No, Dan talked to a lot of people. I mean, we got a lot of good information. There's a lot of stuff that they do different that we don't do. So there's a good good bit of feedback that we were able to take back from it. So we'll see if we can learn from it and move on. Obviously, you know, we're already looking at 2026, which is going to be Italy. Um, and our mindset is we're going to start now and we're going to work towards it because the battle for sixth and eighth overall individual isn't what we're going to want. We want first and second. So that's kind of the mentality that we're at right now. But
Well,
we'll see.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Going from the in the 600s to passing 700 and consecutively getting out there, just kind of I knew I was hurting myself doing that hot and cold deal, basically. Because I was going from braid to mono, and or passing up a cast because I was too busy trying to deal with everything I had going, and I think that just that ruined me, from overall distance. And once I did the first cast, and the first cast was in the 700, I was like, okay, okay, I could have gotten lucky, but then the second one was a little further, and the first cast was funny because I was like 8 or 9 feet from Big Dan, and then I was like maybe 8 or 10 feet from the other Dan. Like both Dans were there, and I'm right there. Like I could reach out and touch them, and for me that was a huge statement and just an eye opener in my book to like, okay, I need to focus on this if I really want to make it happen. And then that way too, once I get all this squared away, then I can come back and change it up in the fishing aspect, because that was one of the things that through the videos the comments keep coming up. Yeah, but you can't do that on the beach and fish with it. And I'm like, it's not the point. It's learning the formula. So when you transfer it over here, you can do that, but you can upgrade it to the braid like I want to do, and still be able to knock out a big old 6 or 7 footer from 150, 200 yards out when you start getting it. So. Um, Yeah, no, and sometimes it's just a matter of like 10 to 15 yards. And I tell people that all the time. Yes, it would be lovely, lovely just to be able to have to dink a cast and pull them in from right there. It would.
Right.
And two, when they're not in there and they are not medium casts or not a farther cast, like you have to bomb it to get it. And
Hmm.
it proves it when your numbers, like you said, I'm 10 drum to everybody else's one or everybody else's two. Like I will keep bombing it way out there to get my numbers up rather than one fish every 2 hours. You know what I mean? Yes, but I'm not saying. And be clear about this. I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong or that you need to be doing it my way. This is me in competition with myself. And
That's
whatever
right.
I want to do better. I want to take it to that next level. So I'm harder on myself. I'm going to push myself further. I'm going to try all these new things. And I got to be honest, between you and Ryan's cast are what really got me to change my cast. And so I'm
Right.
now I'm actually doing. I don't know if you noticed that I'm starting to bring that top swing up,
Hmm.
and I noticed it because when I was recording y'all's cast and I'm looking back at them, I'm able to slow them down. And I'm like, dude, y'all do it so effortlessly. Like it looks like y'all have zero energy usage on y'all's cast. And I know y'all are strong. Y'all are, but it got me thinking, like, why am I like when I'm doing my regular cast, like when I'm putting everything I have into making that cast, and I was getting so just beat up, like, dude, I was only at 620 or 650,
Right.
and I'm, so
S- See,
that's what
Ryan,
got me open my eyes for sure. So,
Ryan's dealt with a lot of feedback from his cast about being wrong, but Obviously he's doing something that's working. And my cast, I don't know if you remember the JVC last year when I first came to Texas. I didn't break 800 feet. I was 787. And then turn around 6 months later, I come to the Texas Open, break the 175 gram record, and almost uh, did a personal best at 800 feet, 859 feet on the 125. But, you know, um, we found something that just works. And my cast, I didn't purposely go after kind of what Ryan does, but for some reason it just kind of happened. And it's working for both of us. We've shown it and we proved it. You know, I started a look at old clips and practices, going back from December to Worlds just to see what I got to put some sort of content out there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how much stuff has changed and how better you become in just a short period of time. Um,
I'm trying to find a little cooler for the phone because I think it's heating up too much now. Yeah, they say you're frozen, and I think it might be my phone. Because we're already coming up on 2 hours of being live, and I'm amazed we made it this far. Because the other day I was here, and we were only live for like 50 something minutes, and the phone completely shut down on me.
you're running that thing too hard. You're being too hard on it, like hard life. Come on now.
Yeah, right.
I'm
But
about to say I've got it pulled up on the computer watching it, and it's been clear on both our sides. I keep seeing
okay.
people saying it froze, but
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I've lost mine over here for a bit because I was. Let's see. Now I got it on my computer. But yeah, no, I forgot to order me a new cooler for my phone. Yeah, yeah, it's glitching. Like it completely shut off and it came back on and stuff like that. So,
put
um,
your ice cube on that thing, bud.
Roger that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get order a new cooler and we'll definitely have to touch back because I definitely want to get it out there. You're right, man. This is such a great way for so many people to improve their fishing. It,
Right.
it I took the one-handed fisherman out there, Lucky, Mr. Easy. He was out there with one hand, one arm, doing the cast and stuff
I
like
saw
that.
that.
And I casted his reel with that back cast, and it was funny because Nick threw it, and then I threw it right behind him, and I almost dumped his spool, and I showed him. I said, "Look," and he goes, "Bro, I've never even seen it that low." And I was like, and that was a cold cast. One, I hadn't done that cast in probably 7 years. Like Nick showed it to me one time years and years and years ago. And then I just kind of remembered off of that basic instruction from that long ago. I said, let me cast a few more times. I bet you I'll empty that spool and eat that or stop in midair kind of deal and stuff. So,
Right.
um, but spinning and bait casting are also two different worlds and stuff like that too. So,
It's a big difference. Big difference. People don't understand the big difference. But it it'll definitely make you an eye opener. Come be a grasshopper catcher one day, people. Just come catch grasshoppers. We'll put some sardines out there. You can hit those in the field. I mean, at least you can try to hit a fish or something. I wouldn't really call that a fish, but still.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
um,
Well, for him, it was once we all casted, like he saw it, he goes, God, that's far. And I was like, bro, right now it doesn't know justice. He goes, what do
right.
you mean? He said, wait till we start walking out there and you go pick up your weight. I said, I just want you to stand there for a few minutes and watch us walk way out there. And he goes, all right. So he did. And I saw him and I said, you ready? And he goes, all right, I'll see you in a bit. And we just kept reeling and reeling, 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 reeling. And I saw him finally turn and start walking in. I walked back. He goes, bro, he's like, didn't y'all ever stop? And I was like, yeah, we did. But it was an eye opener for him, and he wasn't used to it. And he goes, dude, I appreciate it. He goes, I learned so much. He's like, but I'm never coming back to one of these things. He's like, it's so much work and this and that. And I was like, yeah, it is. It is a
it's
lot of work.
it's
But
it's a
if you
lot of
really
walking.
want if you want to learn, it is a great opportunity. So no matter where you're at, again, guys, if you could tell them the Facebook groups that they can join, so that way they can kind of be up to speed on it. I know I post up whenever I'm going with y'all, but not really like the day to day that y'all have the information going out.
Yeah, you got Carolina Surfcasters Association. All this will be on Facebook. So CSCA, which is the local group here in Carolina, Virginia. You've got Surfcast USA, who is Quan Hoop Hooping or something like that. I can't think of his last name. And then you got SFFCI, which is the Texas-based one. And then me and Ryan Lambert have also started a page, so you can follow along there for updates and stuff too. And Team USA Surf Casting Team. All those are great spots to learn, follow, and kind of see what it's all about. You know, kind of going back to like you said, not used to people walking past you. Well, me and Ryan aren't used to people walking past us, and Worlds was a different being. I mean, the the fact, and we got to witness the world record being set with Jorge from Brazil at 283 meters, which was like 930 feet.
Jeebus. And what weight was that
Um,
again?
125.
Wow. All
So,
right,
and
guys.
it,
Well, not to cut you short, but I just got the
no, you're good.
5 notice, so it's going to cut off any second now, Ross. But thank you again. I'll
No,
definitely bring you on. I don't know if it'll be this week, but I want to bring you on again pretty soon so we can keep pushing it out there for guys to get out there and cast. So
yeah,
again,
definitely. Just let me know.
congratulations on your worlds, man. You, Ryan, Dan, y'all went out there and did an impressive job, guys. Good. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, Albert. Thank you. Be
All
good,
right.
sir. Well,
Okay. All right.